Okay, so here we are. Another article I'd like to read to you guys. This is the Attorney General. Justice Department warns local courts about illegal enforcement of fees and fines. This was posted on March 14th, 2016. I'm not sure if they updated it, but it says the U.S. Justice Department is sending a Dear Colleague letter warning state and local courts about constitutional concerns regarding fees and fines imposed on poor defendants. The letter is a PDF. You can get it. That was the one that's a 9-page letter that I was talking about, which I sent it to the court, let them know. Okay, let me continue. Let me see. From the Department's Civil Rights Division in the Office for Access to Justice urges courts to review procedures regarding fines to make sure they comply with the due process, equal protection, and sound public policy. A press release links to the letter and describes a $2.5 million grant program to help agencies develop strategies to reduce unnecessary confinement for those who can't pay fines and fees. The Washington Post and the New York Times have coverage. Dear colleague letters have been used to help push the boundaries of civil rights law, according to the New York Times. Yet they are unusual. The last such letter issued in 2010 advised judges they need to provide translators for people who can't speak English. The new letter refers to illegal enforcement of fines and fees in certain jurisdictions, including Ferguson, Missouri, in cases involving misdemeanor, quasi-criminal ordinance violations, and civil infractions. Typically, courts do not sentence defendants to incarceration in these cases. Monetary fines are... Wait a minute, I gotta move my page. Monetary fines are the norm, the letter said. Yet, the harm caused by unlawful practices in these jurisdictions can be profound. Individuals may confront escalating debt, face repeated unnecessary incarceration for non-payment despite posing no danger to the community, losing their jobs, or becoming trapped in a cycle of poverty that can be nearly impossible to escape. The letter outlined basic constitutional principles regarding fee and fine enforcement. They include: courts shouldn't incarcerate a person for non-payment without first determining whether the person indent and whether they fail to pay is willful. The court must consider alternatives to incarceration for indigent defendants unable to pay. Alternatives could include requiring community service or classes, reducing the debt, or extending the time for payment. Courts must not condition access to a judicial hearing on a prepayment of fees and fines. That's what they did to me. She said I had to pay, and then she didn't even want to give me the paperwork. And if I would have been able to file that motion and at least have the judge look at that, it would have probably stopped the fraudulent auction. Anyhow, courts shouldn't use bail or bond practices that keep indigent defendants incarcerated because they can't afford to pay their release. But anyhow, there's a 9-page letter here about it, your rights, and it talks about right here in the letter, PDF. So, yeah, you could print that out, but anyhow, it goes over more about unconstitutional things that everybody needs to know about. Okay, bye.